Hi, everybody. Will here from DST Dog Show Tips. And this week, we're going to talk to Allison Alexander from Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, where she had put on what is called a Global Poodle Summit. And it was held in Belgium at Waregem, Belgium, in September 23rd and 24th. And it got an amazing response. So I wanted to find out exactly what it was. So sit back and enjoy. Hi, everybody. Will here from Dog Show Tips. And with me is Allison Alexander from Leading Edge Dog Show Academy. And I wanted to ask Allison about her Global Poodle Summit that she held in Belgium, because I saw the pictures on Facebook and TikTok, and I saw them everywhere. So I thought it looked excellent. So tell me what you had in store when you decided to organize this. And how do you organize it, and who was helping you?
All right.
All those questions, Al.
Oh my God. Yeah. We're starting so
you
fast.
You need the TV guide. You don't need to get a TV.
Exactly. So first of all, thank you for having me on Dog Show Tips. I really am lucky that I'm on here, and I have a lot of people that I send to Dog Show Tips to kind of see what's going on. So thanks for providing another resource for the dog show fancy.
I'm hoping I send in a lot to Leading Edge Dog Show Academy when people need to further their education. So
perfect. So Global Poodle Summit. So Global Poodle Summit was probably an idea I've had for probably 6-7 years. And I really just wanted to capitalize or bring to the poodle world kind of some of those conversations that we've had. And Will, you know what it's like when you're sitting with some of your friends, like, at an Irish Setter National or at the Garden or Orlando or wherever you might be, and you're sitting with a bunch of like really like-minded people that you've known for a long time, and those conversations just really come out. You agree on a lot of things about dogs, about conformation and trimming and breeding and what stud dogs have made an impact and which ones maybe haven't made an impact. And how sometimes if you could just take tidbits of those conversations and kind of like put it out into the world, that it might really help some people, no matter where they are on their dog show journey, right? Like it might really help young people or people that haven't been in the sport for very long to understand how long this path is. And it might also help people that have been in the sport for a while just kind of fine tune and kind of get that other perspective. And so I used to have those conversations, or be privy to them when I worked for Susan, and she would go spend a couple weeks at Timmy's, and you would sit there with all these poodle people, and you just sat there and kind of garnered all this information, right? And then, I've been fortunate enough for the past, 10 years or so to be quite close friends with what I call my Afterglow family of Michael Gadsby, Jason Lynn, Tom Isherwood, and Maud Nielsen. And it's just like those conversations just happen naturally. Like we can all start grooming a dog, or we might have different ideas of how we would trim a dog. But once we start working on a dog all together for an event or something, it just all comes together because we have that same kind of that look that we want in our poodles. And so I was trying to figure out, how do I marry these two things together, right? Like, how do I get these conversations that I really want a broader audience to see and feel out there into the world, instead of just having them for my own, as much as I love them for my own private knowledge, right? It would be really great to get that out there. So that was kind of the seed that started Global Poodle Summit. Right. And so but to do something like that, to put together an event, there's all kinds of logistics. What are you going to do? How many days is it going to take? How many days will people put up with learning? Is it going to be too much information overload that people aren't going to be able to absorb what you need them to absorb or want them to get out of it? And also, where are you going to have it? How are you going to do it? Who's going to pay for it? All those kinds of things, right? Because you can put on an event that you think is great, but if two people show up, around the same time, I started going to Groomania. So Groomania is held in Belgium. It's been in a couple different places in Belgium, but it's a grooming competition that they have, but it's more than that. And they have it every year. And about every second or third year, the World Grooming Competition, because the World Grooming Competition is kind of like the World Dog Show. It looks for a different home every year. About every second or third year, it ends up at Groomania, because Groomania is a grooming event unlike any other. It's fully produced. They had more than 365 competitors this year. There is not an expense overturned. There's a huge trade show that is with it, right? So all your brands are there. The top groomers from all over the world, even when the worlds aren't there, are there. And I thought, this would be a great place to have this event, because you already have that Groomania as the backdrop, right? They have a fabulous after party with a live band. It's the way it's produced is amazing, right? Like just the quality, in the Best in Show ring, there was a drone this year. There was a drone in the Best in Show. We don't get that at Westminster. Never, this is a grooming competition.
It would scare us all.
Not even a dog noticed it, right? It was so high up. They do kitty and kitty. So the two kitties, right? They run Groomania and they do such a fantastic job. So pre-COVID, I lightly mentioned it to the kitties, and they were like, oh yeah, that sounds fab, right? And then of course COVID came along. And then last year when I was at Groomania, I'm like, okay, I need to make a move. This needs to happen. Right. And they were completely on board, because, the grooming industry, they want more purebred dog conformation based people to realize what grooming competitions are and what they can do for the purebred dog world. Right. And so they were right on it. Europe is a fantastic place because it's easy for people to get to, right? It's easy for people from all over the world to get there. You could get there with a dog. We had a lady from Vancouver fly in with her poodle, right? Because we had a hands-on segment. So there was lots of great things that we could do. And then, of course, I had to bring it up to my friends, right? So Michael loves to sit down and tell a story. And he's just very good at telling a story about breeding and how to bring dogs together and how to raise them and turn them into show dogs. And Jason is an amazing poodle handler, an amazing handler in my opinion. And I've seen him when he does help people with handling and different tips and tricks, and he'll never admit at how actually fabulous he is at it. So he was a little bit reluctant. Tom has that way with toys, having had Waffle going reserve Best in Show at Crufts. And then we had Maud, and Maud was kind of the fabric that really tied this whole thing together, because her dog that was such an influential sire, Noah.
Explain all that, because some of them don't know who Maud is or what dog she
Maud Nielsen is in Norway, and she had a dog who's a very influential sire called Haviland de Haviland Dove, and his name was Noah. And Noah was sired by a Darwin dog that I had finished. So
which dog?
Charlie. Do you remember Charlie?
No.
No. So Charlie was a Gabeson, I believe. So it just bringing those families of dogs together, right? And then then Grace and Jason the Poodle were dogs that had come, that were Afterglow bred dogs that had come, where Noah was a sire or grandsire of them, right? And from that first breeding of Noah into the Afterglow line, there have been 4 world winners. So 4 wow. Poodles have gone. So really like an influential connection, right? And Halifax was his prefix, right? So it's Halifax de Haviland Dove. So just like this, it just all made sense, right? And so I was at England, at Afterglow, made sure everybody had had a couple cocktails, and then said, hey, why don't we do this? And they all agreed. I mean, Jason didn't agree at first, but, we really talked him into it. And we decided it would be a Leading Edge Dog Show Academy production. And So with Leading Edge, that came, then we had video, then we had a place for everything to sit. Then we had all the resources behind that. Katie McGinn, that manages Leading Edge, did a fantastic job of coordinating with the kiddies, because there was so many logistics, right? Then of course, James and Veronica really helped making sure that we had video, it's all recorded. And maybe, hopefully we haven't even really had a chance to look at the footage because that was only a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully we could have a virtual version of it at Leading Edge Dog Show Academy. We already do have Poodle University there, but maybe this could be an accompaniment it or be on its own. Veronica designed our workbook it's unlike anything you've ever seen, right? I actually have a copy of it. But yeah, so some of the thoughts and I have my blur on my camera.
Yes, there we go.
There we go. So our workbook is just
send me a photo of it afterwards.
I will. I have video of it. So just so many things came together to make it happen. I mean, the team at Groomania, we couldn't have done it without them. There was a lot of logistics going on, but yeah, we pulled it off. So we limited the tickets to 25. We sold out right away. So we upped it to 50 and sold those out. And so we started the weekend. What we did is we took the 4 major standards from around the world, breed standards. So the Canadian Kennel Club standard, the American Kennel Club, the Kennel Club of England, and the FCI standard. And we compared every single section to each other because we needed to all decide what did a poodle look like? You had to start off there, right? What does a poodle look like to you? And even if you were in our audience and you disagreed, at least you understood what we thought they should look like. And we discussed some of the urban myths that are around the poodle standard, some of the things that make it difficult, I think, for new judges to judge them. For some judges to understand them and for new exhibitors to really understand what we mean. For my favorite example is, we talk about poodles having that air of distinction, right? And that they should have carriage when they go around the ring. Well, there's only 5 words in the CKC standard, which is the most descriptive of all the standards, of carriage and gait for a poodle. 5 words. The poodle carries its head proudly. So you're supposed to figure out what a poodle is supposed to move from that description, right? We have 3 paragraphs that describe the tail. But in the scale of points, the only standard that gives a scale of points is the American Kennel Club. They give 20 points to gait. Right. So so how are you supposed to know what does proud carriage? We talk about the tail and people say that the tail should be carried at 10 after 9. Right. Well, the only standard that says that is the FCI standard. It doesn't say that in the Canadian Kennel Club or American Kennel Club standard. So that's kind of an urban myth. Right. And the Kennel Club of the UK says carried away from the body. Well, right? Is the body the top line or is the body the end of the butt? Right? So
it's kind of vague, isn't it? Yeah.
It's kind of vague, right? Mm-hmm. So I can see why people have a hard time trying to figure it out. So we started there. We moved into rearing, raising and training a poodle like a poodle. Another concept that we tried to get across to people was how many times as breeders, right? Top breeders will have a litter of puppies. And at 6 weeks, there's 2 that are very close. At 8 weeks, those 2 are very close. At 10 weeks, those 2 are very close. And now it's time to sell one of them, right? You've promised one. And an hour before the new owner shows up, you bath Poodle B just because it looked at you sideways that day or something, right? And 3 months or 6 months later, yours is a superstar and the other one is a complete wreck. And this happens time after time after time. And it's not because we pick the right one every time. It's because we know we called it how to train a dragon, right? We know how to raise and train that poodle or that Irish setter or that beagle or that Saluki to be a show dog, right? And protect that hair and make sure they're getting correct nutrition and they're getting the correct amount of exercise and the right exercise for that breed. And it's not like if it was because we picked the correct puppy every single time, this would be a cakewalk, right? But it's because that raising and training is so important. So that was kind of the first day.
Excellent point.
So the second day we moved into, in the morning, we did 2 demonstrations at the same time. So we did the Scandinavian or second puppy trim on a toy and then banded it and sprayed it up. And then on the other side of the room, we did Continental on a standard and banded it and sprayed up so that people could kind of see what they want. We stagger started them so people could kind of see what they wanted. And then in the afternoon, we did hands-on troubleshooting. So about half the people brought a dog, and we worked as a group and separately on their pain points. So Jason handled most of the handling things. And then we, helped people with top knot spray, whatever their pain point was, whatever they weren't understanding. For some people it was even like, how do I put, some people had the wrong kind of rubber bands in their poodles that were pulling the hair out, actually, right? So it didn't matter what your pain point is. You kind of got one-on-one time with the team to like figure out what that was and how we can help you. So that was the curriculum. It wasn't long enough. And like I said, we had 50 people from all over the world. It was fantastic.
How long did it run each day?
It was 10 to 6 both days. Sunday we ended up not having a lunch break. Like we had a scheduled lunch break in there, but Sunday it just, people just started getting their dogs ready early for the troubleshooting. The demos ran over because we had so many people asking fantastic questions, really, really relevant questions that we wanted to make sure that everybody was getting what they wanted out of it. We had Maud. Some people signed up to do photo sessions with Maud. Maud's poodle photography to me is outstanding. So that was like a great kind of memento for people and stuff. So yeah, it was really great.
That sounds amazing, Elle. Now, are you planning on another one?
Well. Immediately we had interest from people, even at Poodle Club of America, to do one in, somewhere during that week. We've had invitations from England and Australia. And of course, we would like to do one in Canada. I don't want it to be an everyday thing. I don't know. I hope that doesn't sound selfish, but I don't want to dilute it. I don't want to just have one. I want it, if we do have another one, for it to be an event, right?
And so it should be. When you get those kind of people together, it should be an event.
Right. I mean, everything that we do will be easier the next time because for every single presentation that we did, we had a PowerPoint, as well as in the workbook, we had workbooks that had the PowerPoint basically in book form. So we have all of that stuff together. We can expand on it. Maud did some fantastic drawings of different things we were trying to get across about the breed standard. So she would take a poodle and have it with no hair and then have that same structure with coat on it to show both the judge what it could look like, even though it was maybe cowhocked or whatever underneath that coat, but also to the exhibitor, hey, if your dog does have a little bit of this fault, has a gay tail, you could trim it this way to make the tail look better, right? So we have a lot of assets that we have created for it. And yeah, we would like to do another one, but I don't know when.
Oh, it sounds like a great idea. And you can apply it to so many different breeds too with your background. So,
well, if you knew any setter spaniel experts, Will, there could be a setter spaniel global summit. I wonder.
Somebody say tribute? No, no, that sounds great. Wow. So what's next for Leading Edge?
Leading Edge has been doing really great. We have 2 webinars a month. We're really dialing in. We're trying to get the Global Poodle Summit, what we have recorded from those 2 days, edited and out there, but with 5 speakers. So that's 5 different soundtracks. And all the video from 2 different cameras going for basically, 2 full days. It's a lot to edit. So we'd really like to get that edited and out there. As always with Leading Edge, we're just trying to help the dog show fancy, right? We're trying to get resources out there to encourage people to show their dogs, right? So whether it's showing, training, grooming, those kinds of things, right? I think our next webinar is from novice to knowledgeable. And so actually we just shot some of that content last week, but we're talking about those things, like for instance, Will, armband holders, right? If you have an armband holder, that immediately tells everybody at the dog show you're a novice. Like it doesn't do anything else.
Right.
It doesn't protect your armband. It doesn't make you look smarter. It doesn't make you look neater. It tells everybody at the dog show, the judge, the ring steward, your competition, that you are a complete novice at this, right? And like, I don't think we need tags, right? Like, I don't think we need tags that say like newbie, right? And just little things like that, right? Like when the judge points at you, don't stand there with your jaw down, walk to the number one spot, right? So little things like that we're just trying to make people get to,
I like to walk when they even didn't point at me. I'd still walk there.
We know. I even had somebody, so maybe you should answer this question. When you go reserve, best in show, what should you do?
What do I do?
Yeah.
I take the ribbon and I stand with the judge until she awards best, or they award best in show.
Yeah.
I don't just leave the ribbon. So that way I can congratulate the winner and then we can go out together.
Yeah. And that's I
don't miss any of the spotlight.
That's great. I didn't. But that's kind of what we've recommended to our students as well, right? But it's one of those things that you don't know, and then you have a new exhibitor and they go reserve best in show for the first time, and they're like, oh, like what do I do, right? So we just try to say those things out loud, right? So that people can just have that knowledge in their head and understand that, hey, maybe you could do that.
Right. And a lot of it is, those are great ideas because the people don't realize a lot of it is common sense when you're out there, but they're so frantic they can't use common sense out there. So those are great ideas.
Yeah. But it's common sense in another language.
Right. In our language, in dog show world language.
Yeah.
But, I think that's great, Al. This has been great. Would you mind if we checked in with Leading Edge once in a while?
Oh, we would love it. Yeah.
This has been great because I think this world needs to know what's going on in that world. So,
like I said, we send a lot of people your way to dog show tips, and we'd love to come on and just give you a little update on what's going on and check in to see how Global Setter Summit's coming along. So
you'll have to guide me through that. I might have some ideas for you.
Oh, really?
But you like to, you can set up events more than I can. So
yeah, well,
I can just tell jokes and introduce the next person. So.
Talk about a setter or something.
I can do that.
Okay, I thought maybe you could. Well, like I said, so happy that you decided to have me on for Leading Edge. So thank you so much. And hopefully we get to talk again soon.
Thanks, Al. I'll let you get back to work. I know you're busy.
All right. Take care.
Well, that was great. It sounds interesting. It sounds like this can be done with different breeds. What a great idea Al had. If you like what you're seeing here, make sure you press the like, share, and subscribe button. If you want to get a hold of me, go to willalexanderdogshowtips.com. And you can find me on the same website as well. Don't forget about the podcast every Thursday, the Dog Show Drive with myself and Wayne Kavanaugh. Or how about Wayne Kavanaugh with Will Alexander? Take care, guys. See you next time.